All right, gang, welcome to Rockstar Moments. Today we got Trina Noel in the studio. She is definitely a rock star, and I promised y'all this yesterday, this story was coming. This story's going to floor you. I get out a pen and pad, and you're going to learn a lot from what she's about to share with you. But Trina, if you could just kind of start with where you were calling me the other day about how you were setting the appointment. Don't use last names of your customers.
Okay.
Just use your first name, and definitely don't use their real address. Of course, you don't got that with you. But just explain how the whole process went down from the phone call.
Okay. So from the phone call, I dial it's an internet lead,
Okay.
and a lady picks up the phone and she says, "Well, I don't need it." And awesome. That makes my job a lot easier. I'm just a person to get the information to you.
You're good at that, by the way. I hear her doing that all the time. I don't care what they say to her.
It's
The
awesome.
sky's blue. Awesome. That makes my job
It's so much
easier,
easier.
so much easier. All right, keep going. Sorry.
And she said, "Well, my pipes burst. I'm not in my house." And I said, "Okay, so are you still in Texas?" And she said, "Yeah, I'm at my friend's house." And then I said, "Okay, so what's your friend's address?" And she gave it to me. I was like, "Wow."
Now keep in
So
mind, Trina's been here 5 years, and she's getting better at this. I love this. I love people
yes,
that can still get better. 5 years. She's
5 years.
won the Barcelona trip. She's won the Hawaii trip. And she called me up and she goes, Paul, I asked for the friend's address and they gave it to me. Right? You
So
just floored.
weird.
So weird.
Yes,
All right,
I
keep
was.
keep going. That's good.
I
Sorry.
was not expecting her to give it to me. So
Yeah.
I'm writing it down real fast. So set the appointment, go to the house. The friend answers the door, and I asked for, I think her name was Kay, or I can't remember. And so she lets me in, and we sit down and we start talking. They got puppies. We talking about the dogs, and they still had their Christmas tree up, and we're just laughing and talking. So we start talking about the insurance, and I showed the internet all of her information, and her friend is like, "This is fraud. They have your You don't even know how to get on the internet, and they have your name, your address." And I was like, "Well, maybe your son." She's like, "Her." She said, "No, my son wouldn't do this without telling me first." I said, "Well, I'll just go over the information with you." And then her friend said, "Look, she has dementia or Alzheimer's or something." She said she has no clue of anything you're talking about.
Wow.
So I said, "Well, okay, that's fine." And we started talking about something else. It's so funny. She recognized Adrienne because I was training. I had Adrienne that with me.
Yeah.
I didn't tell you about that.
Yeah, you did 'cause you told me you didn't panic. You were about to panic.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I was. I
Yeah.
was. Yes. And normally, these past 5 years, at that moment, I would.
Sorry to
I
bother you.
Yes,
Yeah.
I would. I hadn't even opened my ATM up at that moment,
Yeah.
so I would have just left.
Yeah.
And we just kept talking, and then she asked me, it's just out of nowhere. She asked me, "How much would 25,000 cost
All
me?"
right.
And I said, "Huh."
Going somewhere.
Right.
Don't know who you are. Let's talk about it.
Right.
All right.
And again, normally I would do a quote for 25,000, and she would
That's
tell me that's too much,
that's
and
big.
then I would leave.
That's big. Say that one more time. Normally you would do what? She say, tell me what's $25,000. What would you do?
I give her a quote for 25,000,
Just like that.
just like that.
In seconds. She'd say it's too much. Was she like 82? Too much.
Too much. And she a smoker. She's 70. Oh, I can't pay that. Okay.
But
It
the
was,
new Trina, the Trina that's already won Barcelona, already won Hawaii, learning more, she says, I did something different this time, Paul. And
I did something
what'd
different.
you do?
I said, "That's an interesting number. What made you come up with that number?" And she said, "Well, I'm never going to pay this house off. And I know my children are going to sell it. I just want to leave them with something." And I said, "Okay." And I asked more questions. "How many children do you have?" And she said, "Two." "And do they have children?" "Yes, she got two grandchildren." And I said, well, how much do you owe on the house? And it was like 180,000. I said, well, what's your monthly payments? And she told me her monthly payments. And then out of nowhere, Paul, I promise you, this has never ever happened before. Out of nowhere, I pulled out a green sheet.
Ooh, never happened before. 5 years been here, won 2 trips. So for all of y'all out there that have won trips and think you got it all figured out, Trina is learning more. Like
Yes.
you, I wish I could have recorded the phone call when you called me because I was on the floor rolling. Well, first, I was rolling when I asked for the friend's address and she gave it to me. You were so floored by that. You were like,
I really was.
yeah. And then what was the second one that you were floored by? I forget.
Oh, okay.
The 25,000.
The
Yeah, yeah,
25,000, but I skipped this part. When her friend was talking about all of the fraud,
yeah.
and she said she has your old address, and she said, and she even got my address. And then the lady that sent in all of the information, she said, oh, well, I gave that to her. And then her friend said, you did what?
The friend that you signed up.
Yeah, she said you did what? You gave somebody you have no idea who they are. You just went online and you just gave some random person my address. And she said, well, yeah, well, I thought, and her friend, it's so funny. Both are 70s, 70 something years old. They've been friends since elementary school.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
they're sitting there just arguing, just like sisters.
That's awesome.
And I was, and all of that, the inside of me was ready to run. I was just like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And
You're training a person. She's
I'm
training somebody.
training somebody, so I
A
can't
brand new
get up and
person
leave.
watching.
I'm like, shoot. And then I thought about Paul, because you always say, train somebody, because when you train somebody, you're going to be on your game. I'm like, dang it. Okay, so I got to sit here and think of something. Can't just pack up and go. So I pulled out a green sheet and I went through the whole green sheet and I asked all of the questions and I even asked like how much does it take to run your house? The electric bill, the water bill, all of that. Because if your kids, like once you die and your kids need to maintain the house, what does it take to pay all of the bills plus the mortgage?
Yeah.
And she gave me, I mean, she just gave me all, I mean, she was just, well, I pay this for this, and I pay this for this, and this, and
Telling
this,
you
and
everything.
just
Everything.
everything. And I'm just writing. I'm not looking up at her, nothing. I'm just writing and asking questions.
Training.
Yes. I'm just asking questions. And I said, you know what?
Mm.
Um, what most families in your situation do is mortgage payment protection.
Okay.
Just to buy your kids some time
Okay.
so they can save. And that was the other question I asked. How much can you sell the house for?
Yeah.
How much do you owe on it? And this is a way you can protect the equity
I like it.
for your kids.
And so she
And
fired up about that.
yeah, she was fired up about that. And I said I gave her the numbers, and because she wanted 25,000, so I showed her 25,000, 15, and 10,
Yeah.
and she picked 15.
Yeah. Big. Gang, I'm telling you. And I love that she caught what she would have done in the past. I'd have just given him a quote for the 25,000, smoker, 70 something years old. She'd have walked out and not made a sell. Instead, she made a sell, made a friend,
Yes.
made a great friend. She learned all about them. And here's the crazy thing, gang. That wasn't even, she's not even on the lead that was filled out.
No.
Trina, and this is what I love what Trina said when she was on the phone with me the other day. She goes, Paul, it's all about asking questions. It's all about asking questions. First, she asked, well, what's your friend's address? Where are you going to be?
Mm-hmm.
And she gave it to her. Hello. And just ask questions. And then she goes over there and gets hit with, this is fraud. Now, you didn't freak out or nothing. You just
I
stayed
didn't.
cool.
I just
Just
stayed
stayed
cool.
cool. Don't fight back. You didn't fight back. This ain't fraud. You didn't do nothing like that. You was like, hey, I'll tell you, it's right here. So
Right.
you let that simmer down. Then once that simmered down, then you realize that she, bless her heart, has dementia. Doesn't even know she filled it out.
Right.
Well, because Trina's so friendly and she was asking questions, didn't fight back, didn't get defensive, didn't get offended, nothing. Now this woman says, well, I've been thinking about some stuff. Tell me what $25,000 will do for me. And again, instead of just boom hitting her with 25K, she waited and asked another question and another question. And what I love about what she said is, do your kids have kids? I mean, she's getting great with these questions now. Again, keep in mind, I'm standing beside a rock star who's won the all expense paid trip to Barcelona. You and I ran on the beaches of Barcelona together.
Yes, we did.
You won the Hawaii trip, an all expense paid trip to Hawaii. You and I ran the beaches of Hawaii together.
Yes.
And she's good, but she knows she can get better. That's what I love about this whole entire story is there's so much room to grow. There's so many things to do. And
Yes.
I'm just so proud of her. And I said, hey, can we go record this incredible rock star story with the group? And you were fired up about that. Anything you want to leave them with before you say goodbye?
Yes. At the end of the appointment, she told her friend, well, thank you for giving them my address.
Oh, that's good.
It was sweet.
You're
Like, I'm
getting some.
glad you came.
We did not tell everybody we were doing this live, so we don't have a lot of people watch right now, but you're still getting some right on. Way to go, Trina. Love you, Trina. Yeah, Trina's a rock star, and I love humble people. Trina's humble. She's willing to learn more. She's way smarter than her boss. I'm not her boss. She's way smarter than me. She's got an engineering degree. The woman's brilliant, but yet she's humble enough to say, hey, I got to get better at asking questions, pull out the green sheet. I hope tonight or whenever you watch this recording, you take this to heart, ask better questions, and more importantly, fill out that green sheet.
Yes.
Take the time. Take the time. Don't rush out of there. Be calm, be cool. I know, Trina, this is what breaks my heart. So many people would have walked out, oh, she's too old, she's a smoker, this is a waste of my time. That's why I think it's imperative that you train people because she had someone there that she couldn't let down. And she
Right.
had to be, because that's what I teach all of them. Take someone with you because then you're going to be on your A game. You're not going to talk about stupid stuff on accident. You're not going to bring up stupid stuff on accident. You're going to be like, there's somebody watching me. I got to do this correctly.
Right.
And you did. And we just love Trina. We're so proud. We're blessed to have her on our team to be part of our Rockstar family. So please take this to heart. Do what she said. Ask more questions. She was at a different address that was not even on the lead. The lady that filled it out had dementia, and she still took care of this beautiful woman. Now, I'm guessing you have a great opportunity to take care of the kids and the kids' kids because they fell in love with her. That's what she said. She goes,
Yes.
they fell in love with me. It started off as a fraud type deal, weird moment to
Yes.
now they
A
told
friend.
you a friend. A friend. That's all it takes, guys. Go get yours. We're definitely getting ours. Adios. Good job. Yeah, you were good. You were natural.
Okay, good, good.
Very natural. The only thing you were doing is there's a key right here, and you kept hitting that. So I don't know if it's going to hang out on the recording.
Oh,
You had your hands right here, and you kept hitting it.
okay.
We'll see. I don't think it will because these mics are very sensitive.
Okay.